Well, we should be live. We're back with our BX Dungeons and Dragons game, playing in the Mystara universe. Also, Old School Essentials, and basically the same rule set. Old School Essentials is one that's still for sale now, and it's just a cleanup version of the Basic Expert. Good system. Good book if you'd like to get it. So, I guess we're going to attempt to play a game tonight. It's been kind of a crap week. Had another rooster die today. It was his time. He was a good roo. Yeah. All right. Let us find out who our cast is tonight. Dion, who you got?
Hello, I'm Dion. Tonight I'm playing Stoltine Reinbach the Seventh, Amarone Aristocrat, and level 5 Cleric / Magic User, aka Amber Mage.
You are still a little cutting out. Not horrible, though. We don't know why. We haven't traced down the problem. We think gremlins.
Storm.
We think it's gremlins. Gremlins. I'm going with that. Gremlins. Jameis, who you got tonight?
Hey. Yeah, Darius, I'm playing Gremlins. I'm taking Dion.
Well, now we know.
Yeah, there you go. Otherwise, playing Galen Rayhorn. He's a Cleary Elf Priest, level 8. And no sign of level 9.
Yeah, that's the levels get so much more expensive as you go up, that's for sure. I will do an XP drop again soonish, but likely not enough to get anybody over the line. Bill, who you got?
Oh, my name's Bill. I am playing Radnor the Large. He is a level 9 magic user, and he is very large.
That's his thing, being large.
Yes.
Constantine, who you playing?
Hi, I'm playing Jenkins. There's nothing really much that needs to be said. I'm just, the brass of the group.
Richard may or may not be joining us. We will find out, but if he shows up, we'll let him introduce himself. So, last session, following the swath of unnatural growth and destruction in the forest and flora, going through Stoltheim's provinces, you guys trace this path right before where Radnar has set up shop in his wizard's tower. Your own province. It's number 8 on the map there. And the destruction just kind of stops just at the point where you oversee Radnor's village below. It's small. It's not much more than a small grouping of buildings, one common house, of course, the beer house, if you want to call it that, or the tavern. But mostly it's just for the folks that eke out a living doing timber or hunting or farming in the local area. It's not a very large settlement. The population here, all told, is pretty high, but this is not a very built-up area. So you guys find that, yes, there is a problem here. Some of those coins have been passed out. Some folks have that flea infestation, which you learned was kind of just incidental to the curse that was attached to those coins.
And anyone witches.
Galen, yes, exactly. Galen began to do a blessing on the area as a whole to see if that would help anything. The rest of you noticed that a fight had broken out in the tavern. And perhaps wisely, instead of going in to stop things this time, Radnar cast Mass Dyspeptic Bowels.
Took care of that.
Yeah, it pretty much ceased everyone's fighting, as everyone is now crawling their way out of the doors, continuing to run out of both ends. The smell is amazingly bad, but it seems to have stopped the riot at any rate. And we'll pick up there, Galen, just because I don't want you to sit out any longer. Technically, a blessing takes an hour, but we'll go ahead and say that you're done. Let me roll a save versus spell, essentially for the area.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Okay.
does something.
I mean, as far as you know, I mean, the blessing went off without a hitch. You do feel your goddess's touch to the area. I mean, it feels like everything worked out. You're not sure what, if any, real change is going to be enacted in the environment, but there you go. It seems to have been a success. And this is probably when you notice all your rest of your friends standing outside of the tavern as people start crawling out on their hands and knees, vomiting and crapping everywhere. Oh, that's a perfect place for Richard's character, because Richard's character was inside when that spell was cast.
That's right, he was. Yeah.
So if he does not show up tonight, that's what his character is doing. It just corn he didn't know he ate coming out of both ends.
Yeah, right now Richard's either cursing his computer or emitting lots of Z's.
Yes. All right, so that's the setup. That's what you guys are kind of walking into. What do you want to do at this point? The spell, Ragnar, it's going to last for a bit as they continue to do this, but it seems to have quelled the problem. No one's still trying to attack one another.
Is the bar fight still happen? No, that they're all done. I guess I go check in with Galen now that everything calmed down.
All right.
So what do you suggest we do here? It's spreading.
Yeah, and it's no longer just the coins directly, it's people affected by the coins can pass on the contagion. Excellent.
Well, fellas, if I must say, I think we got ourselves a plague. And to be frank, no offense, I feel like at this point it's probably already left Stoltheim's area.
That's fair.
Well, I mean, not necessarily. Again, this is not a city or even what you would call a town. The people here just kind of eke out a living in the area, and they kind of gather here to sell their produce to one another and to basically just drink and have a little bit of human contact. This is not a destination point. This is not a waypoint. Bill's character Ragnar hasn't spent any actions to really build up the small town. So it's not like they get a lot of visitors, nor is it like anyone that lives here really travels anywhere. Okay, so don't get the idea that this is like a trade hub or a bustling city. It is not.
Well, I mean, as in, it's spreading, and it might have, because we've seen this before this place, right?
Mm-mm.
No?
Only Ragnar has.
Oh, well then never mind. My character doesn't think otherwise then. My character just thinks this is something weird. First time seeing it. Never mind. Ignore me.
All right, so your domain here, Ragnar, has only about 80 people that are living off the land here, and it's only about maybe 20 of those people that actually have homes or just gather here. So you don't have a very large province of people anyway. The GM realizes as he said this of course means that the player character's next action is to round up and kill 80 people.
How many people can we fit in Fireball?
Can I take a picture? Can everybody just kind of close in together? Come on, just tighten up in there.
To your sweet loyalty to Stuttelheim.
Now let's take a silly one.
What do you do?
Are you able to cure people of this?
If I do it on a one-person basis, I can cure one person every 3 hours.
Yeah, there you go.
So
How many people are effective roundabout right now?
a lot.
Well, the village as a
Enough that
whole is about 20 people, give or take a couple, but about 20 people is the whole village.
And how many people in the village are affected?
Don't know.
Yeah, there's the obvious people who are scratching, and then there's the people who don't have to be scratching right this moment.
Mm. I wonder, do we try to just cure everybody? Like, stay here for a day or two? Or I don't know. It drives them mad, right? That's why they started attacking each other. Because otherwise, we're gonna have lunatics running around all over the immediate area within, like, a day.
I would suggest everyone stay 2 meters away from each other and wear masks. But we know no one's going to do that.
Who knows how many other provinces are currently affected and also spreading?
Yeah. Well, we know how many days ago did people come in with the go? It was like a week ago or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, but this this path that you found was within the last 48 hours. If it coincides.
If it coincides. We should have gone the other way, like they started here and then went to the path and we went from the path in one direction.
Yeah, you don't know that the two things are related, but it sure seems optimal that the trail just kind of ended just right before the village here.
Does our wizard friend have any insight on this?
Oh, no, not really. It's not something he's seen before, although he does say as an opening foray into a battle, spreading a disease, not a bad move. Especially if it results in your populace trying to kill each other.
Yeah. So maybe something else may happen here if we stick around.
Well, I don't know whether or not we cure him. I mean, that's really up to Galen because he's the one that would have to do it. And maybe if he wants to do that, I can have my my apprentice kind of help you. I don't know, organize the people into bringing them to you or whatever, or bringing you to them, and then the rest of us could maybe figure out what's going on with this.
It's going to be very slow to cure each person on an individual basis. I've tried to do a sort of a mass thing, and I think it did something for the whole town. I'm not positive. As far as I can tell, it did something. So hopefully they're better now. We really need to work out where the hell this is coming from and stop it right at the source.
It's actually hard to tell because the bar fighting and the spell that went off that caused them to stop fighting kind of coincided with you finishing a ritual. So which one did what?
Yeah. Well, we can see if people are still itching and stuff. I mean, they're still got fleas.
Well, remember, the itching is incidental. The itching happens because the fleas were caught in the curse.
Right.
Yeah, or we can kill them and see if any of them come back to life.
Do we need to do that?
He's like, because I'll totally do that.
Yeah. If there's some obvious connection we're supposed to make with what we're supposed to do next to what's going on here, I am just not drawing any conclusions whatsoever.
Nope. I've just presented a problem to your domain. You guys have to figure out what you want to do to stop it or cure it or just let it go on.
I've got no ideas at all as to what we do next.
Well, there's only. I honestly think if we want to spend the time to try and fix this here, we just quarantine them all. You cure them one at a time. Let them go.
And in the meantime, it's spreading elsewhere and getting worse.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. Also, it's like if we find the person spreading this, does stopping them stop the disease, or is that just still going to keep going?
Well, if it stops them, it's at least going to put a halt on new sources springing up.
Yeah. But also, like that guy said, making disease that spreads chaos like this and then attacking is a good plan. So, do we even want to just stay here for a night and see what happens in case anything happens here? It was getting late.
I'll be right back, guys. You can keep talking.
Okay.
Yeah. The trail, the coins were a week old. The trail that led here was like 2 days ago. So I think if whatever's causing the trail was going to attack, it probably would have done that already, unless it's sort of targeting us, and I don't know why the hell it would bother. I mean, we can spend the night here because the wizard guy wants to have some proper food anyway, so that's not necessarily a terrible idea. And I can cure some of the worst contenders I can find, but we don't have time for me to cure everyone. What we probably need to do is, and I use this word ill-advisedly because I know history, blitzkrieg our way through the entire province and work out which places have got sources of gold and try and track that back to where the hell it's coming from. Basically, try and do as quick an assessment as possible over the entire 13 hex region, which is not quick, which is not going to be small, but just try and work out where the heck this disease source is and try and map it out, try and locate it back to somewhere. We might want to pop back to 13 and get the mercenaries to help out, just scouting out areas and
that's a good idea.
Making notes of what's going on.
Well, you know a few things. The curse is being spread by the use of these older gold coins. Although, I mean, that's currently.
Yeah.
I mean, it may be just the coins that they had at the time, and new coins are being made even now. Who knows?
Thanks for helping us, Bert. Really reassuring us. Yeah. At this rate, the correct route is going to be burn the entire province to the ground and just leave.
Do we have any idea? Since that wizard guy said that, do we or do I have any idea who might be some sort of rival or someone that would do that or has the ability to do that?
Well, he's already told you that him being awakened is a sign that like the old enemy is starting to move again or starting to awaken again. And that enemy had cultists dedicated to it, had people dedicated to it that must still exist.
So what you're telling me...
And we have no way of tracking that down in any easy way. Jenkins.
So I have an idea if you're willing to hear me out. So, no offense, Ragnar. I know you're a nerd, but you're a different nerd. We gotta find some kind of esoteric nerd who would know a bit more on that topic. Because if there's anyone that knows stuff, it's geeks, nerds, and dorks. They would know better on this topic than us.
Well, you happen to have one traveling with you now, this old-timey wizard that's like, you hear his stomach growl as he wanted to come here for some food.
Well, yeah, but he hasn't been around for, what was it, a couple thousand years? He doesn't know the location of these cultists, no offense. Nope. I don't think he would, unless they stick in the same place for thousands of years, but unless you're Neanderthals, you're not that dumb.
So,
I hope.
I say maybe we get a bite to eat and get some food in the sky. And ourselves, we can discuss what we want to do while we eat, then maybe we just stay here for the night and enact our plan tomorrow.
How do we know this wizard guy isn't the bad guy?
You don't.
We don't. But he hasn't killed us yet. And he probably had every chance to do so.
Just for shits and giggles, if we're hanging out near this guy, I'd like to take 10 minutes and turn on my magic sight to see if there's anything weird around him.
Oh yeah, there's a lot weird around him. I think you honestly, I think that at least one of you already peered at him magically before. And he's obviously a magic user, but like the forces of magic that you wield are very, well, at least to your eyes, they seem very natural, right? It's part of the landscape. A person that casts magic seems to have a bit more of it around him than other people do. The magic that he has around him, which you can definitely tell is magic, don't seem to follow this. It looks very unnatural. In the way that like a river is natural, but then when you dam the river to use it for another purpose, it's no longer natural. It serves another purpose. So that's what it looks like to you. Like the magic he's pulling from is completely normal, but the way he uses it is very different than how you use it. He's already explained that to you, though. Like, he doesn't need spell books.
I don't know. I think this guy's up to something. I really do. I mean, how would we tell, though?
I could cast Detect Evil, but that won't mean a thing.
Well, I mean that he doesn't have any particular thought of hurting or injuring you. It would mean that.
Yeah. That big help.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it wouldn't hurt. It's just that doesn't. I mean, you'd be able to do that fairly easily, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it wouldn't hurt. I mean, if we find out this guy's evil, that would be really,
Well,
But my suspicion is that if he's part of this like ancient enemy thing, then it's just not as black and white as like good evil kind of thing.
Well, the spell itself is not as black and white as good and evil. It just tells you that the person or thing you cast it on means you right now any intentional harm. That's all the spell does.
Yeah. That's not actually that useful in this campaign setting. I think right now the wizard has intent to harm animal products because he wants to eat them, but that's about
He will harm the hell out of a cow if you put one in front of it.
Yeah. Is there a backup bar at this place that we can go to? Because we don't want to go to that main one until
there is not.
Yeah.
The bar, as it's a public house. Like, they of course they have brew there, but it's just a meeting house for all the folks that kind of work in the woodlands around here to kind of gather and such. It's the only one. It's actually the only structure that has roof walls and stone. What is it called? Man, my brain's not working today. The base is stone. So like this is a permanent structure. All the other houses nearby are not really permanent. They're made so they can easily be taken down, kind of like yurts almost.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, it is filled with vomit and crap right now.
Pleasant, but I'm going to go near. I'm going to go near the inn and cast a spell to not make it not as terrible. I'm going to cast Create Water.
Yeah, just flush it out. Yeah, you can do that.
It's a 4th level spell. It's a hell of a spell to use just on this, but
no, that's fine. You create a bunch of water, just flush down the floors, and everything goes pouring the doors and under the walls. It's fine.
Yeah,
That's gonna stink on the next hot day.
Yeah. Somebody will come by and harvest your soil. Well, there you go. You've got one partially cleaned tavern area, and again, it's not much of a tavern. I mean, there are a number of tables and chairs. There's a huge fireplace. Looks like there was something roasting there, but it's all blackened now because of everyone having to leave quickly and it not being attended. There are two full-size casks of beer that have been tapped. There's not really much else here. There's really not even there's not like really a tavern owner or anything. Just everybody kind of chips in and deals with the place, runs the place.
Can I use my magic sight to check the alcohol and food to see if that's contaminated?
Sure. No, it all seems fine.
Yeah.
Although the it looks like it was a boar. Now that you get close to it, get a good look at it. One side is completely black and the other side's still raw because no one was turning the spit. But other than that, it's not contaminated. There's nothing wrong with it.
I turn it to roast the raw side of it.
Okay. So we'll say that Radnar's spell has the fire's out because gallons of water just got created and pushed through.
That's right.
Radnar, your spells ran out. It's ran its course, so people are starting to come back to themselves, and they're not going right back to fighting each other.
Okay. Turns out that had nothing to do with any spells or anything. They just like having a party.
It's Tuesday. We do this on Tuesdays.
Should we go ahead and, like, I don't know, quarantine them somewhere?
I can't be bothered.
Nah.
Either they're all killed or there's a trying to trace it down. It's just going to be a waste of our time right this minute. We've got bigger problems. What the worst thing that's going to happen in the meantime is that if anyone dies, they come back to life. That's what the curse does. So as long as no one dies, it's not going to be an issue. We can deal with it later.
Burn the bodies and it should stop being a problem.
There's no bodies.
There's no bodies. Unless you're correct with some Jenkins. Is there something you want to tell us?
Well, the dead can't rise if there's nothing to rise with. So you burn it when they die.
As far as we know, there's no bodies, but you're going on about bodies. Do you know something about there being bodies around, Jenkins? Did you create some bodies for us?
Jenkins is shivving some old man behind the building. Just because.
No, that's the next character if this one dies.
Stabby McStabbinson.
No, just an actual cultist.
No, we got one of those
That's
already.
what you are now.
Yeah, but this one's not chaotic evil. He's just lawful evil.
Evil doesn't really matter.
I'm just chaotic.
So,
you get what I mean.
We'll get the bar back up and running as much as anyone wants to go in there now that even being flushed is still going to be terrible. If need be, I'm going to pop out and get some boar or something from the nearby area just so we have some proper meat for the thing. Or just go grab a cow and toss a gold to the farmer. Here's the money. I don't care. Get them on.
Pretty much the populace are going down to the nearest body of water to clean themselves since they all crap their pants. But other than that, I mean, one of the farmers will offer up one of his sheep.
I'll still throw gold at him anyway because I don't care. Have some money. But basically, we'll get back to having food and feed up the wizard so he has something to eat. I know he's
you do that. I mean, eventually
we'll spend the night here. I don't have anything particularly other than sort of trying to do some vague planning of where we're going next. I don't really have anything.
Well, eventually people do start coming back after cleaning themselves up, etc. I mean, again, most people don't live here. They've got like little farmsteads out in the countryside. They just come here when they just need a little human contact. So, so they come back. This is actually a festival month. It's one of the reasons why they come here. The two huge casks of beer were ready this month, and it was kind of a a gathering spot where they tap them and share it out. So like the community as a whole owned this building, right? So there's no money changing hands. They just, when the beer is ready, they tap it and everybody enjoys it till it runs out. That was what was going on. People bring meat for the fire to share. Some folks that are good cooks might even do a little stew, that sort of thing. But it's a kind of share your bounty sort of thing. Everybody brings in whatever they have an overabundance of. They'll either trade with one another for what they don't have, and then whatever's extra they cook up and make a feast. This happens for an entire month, and then you came.
Once again, PCs are the bane of any NPC around.
Wrecking economy since 1971.
Yeah. Oh no, we've got PCs in the area. Run!
One particular person has kind of taken himself to be like the bartender, and he checks the kegs to make sure everything's working, starts pouring out beers. They've got a whole bunch of everybody's pretty much got brought their own mug or drinking horn, and he's just taken it upon himself to fill up everybody's cup. Very affable man, solidly built, but is on the far side of his physical life, shall we say. So he's a retired guy. Tells you he's gray hair, but still a bunch of strength to his frame. But if you ask, he tells you he just has a small farm now. He used to be a soldier. He is actually not native. He is one of the Phaeacians that came over with Stefan. He was just a rank and file, so he never got deeded any land, but Stefan let folks just kind of go and trail break and make a living off the land itself. He doesn't own it, but the Duke doesn't put any kind of restrictions on what you can farm from the land. So that's what he did. Built himself a little house out here. He had a wife and child. They both died of disease a few years ago.
Well, you've got yourself a baron now.
A very affable guy, and he's telling you a little bit about he was a soldier, and Phaeacia came here with Stefan. Hasn't really fought any war since he's been here, but he really likes the place. He's picked up some of the local dialect.
Is also asking around, is there other soldiers in the area? Retired soldiers in the area, or is it just pretty much him? Has he got
no, there are a few. A lot of them weren't into the farming. He farms. He keeps a few animals, but mostly farms. Now, most of the soldiers that mustered out went into trapping and furring. They get to travel more, especially the younger guys. They get to travel more, get a little bit of excitement, and it pays better. You're not locked down to one small piece of land. Around here, he sees some of his old friends every once in a while passing through. Not too many of them in the area, though. Notice at your wizard, once he's gotten a little bit of mutton in him and starting to feel better, he's peering around the room with this little like a crystal. Looks almost like amethyst. Looks like amethyst. It's that purple kind of color. And he seems to be looking at everybody through it, almost like it were a lens as he continues to eat.
What's that trinket you have?
Oh,
pour him more wine.
So sometimes those that have been granted powers by the enemy, they give off a particular energy, and there are certain ways you can sense it, see it.
Would I be able to do that?
It's the enemy, though. Some of them are minor, and they're never granted any powers. But those that are lieutenants, maybe you'd call them, you can kind of see their powers when he gives you the gem, and there's nothing special about it. It's just an uncut gem. Again, looks like amethyst. You peer at everyone through it, not really seeing.
I look at
anything.
him through it.
There's a little bit of distortion around him, but it's like really faint.
I bring it up. What's the strange distortion? Is this because the magic that you wield is from an older time?
Well, I too am sworn to a power. As I've explained to your mage friend, we don't entirely use magic the same way. Mine's granted to me by the blood bonds that I've made, and so that shows up well. But if you get a...
I look at my hand through it.
Yeah, yours has that same kind of shimmer.
Oh. Oh, wow. I kind of look at Galen.
Galen does too.
Whoa. As I'm scanning
Radnar does not.
around.
Yeah, Radnar does not.
Doesn't. Scrimbleshanks.
Nope. You don't see anyone else that has any
Alright.
kind of difference through the lens.
Okay.
This is a good one. You have rubies. Rubies work the best. Amethyst, even better. Or not amethyst. Jade, even better. Emeralds, even better.
Hey, Radnar.
Yes.
Do you have any emeralds or jade or ruby or amethyst? Or...
I don't think so, unless I have them as part of my spell components.
Nah.
Don't put
We might have jewels like that, but the person who keeps track of that is not here at the moment, and I can't remember who the sheet is.
Let's see.
Scrimbleshanks will tell you all about the differences between the jewels.
Where would
There's
this
plenty
be?
of differences.
Is it in
plenty.
player notes, maybe? Let's look.
Well, I would assume that if you guys had a cache of gems, you would not be carrying them around with you more than likely. No real reason to.
That's fair.
Oh, you don't know how stupid we are, Bert. So that's probably fair.
I'll tell you what, just to keep from you looking there, why don't you, Dion, give me a luck check. See if anyone happens to have something on.
Hi, baby. Always high. Wha! That's a little high.
Sure,
Little
you've got a ruby on you. Why not? You remember that it's actually like on the pommel of a dagger or something, and you just chip it off.
I start looking through that.
Yeah, so the shimmer is much more intense on yourself, on the newly awakened mage, and on Galen. Again, Radnar looks completely normal through it.
Right.
Galen, did you know that this happens? And I put the ruby up to your eye. Did you know about this?
GM is rolling for some reason. That's, I'm sure, perfectly fine.
Means absolutely nothing.
Okay, well, it's just a sign of being touched by the lady.
Yeah,
did
you know that?
If you explain what the heck the deal is, we've been touched by the lady, so...
Did you know that that's a thing?
Us? Nope.
Why is nobody... How? Wait, Radnar, did you know that's a thing? You're trained in magic.
I mean, it's not really my thing, so I don't know that much about it.
Yeah, Radnar looks perfectly normal through it. I mean, why would he bother to look at like a cleric through it? I mean, it's not even their power they're using.
Blown that like something so simple that adventurers would come across and all that, and like simple, like it's a rare gem.
Why would you go around looking at people through emeralds? That's just weird.
I mean, people look at
you're a rich
people through magic.
Actually, that's the sort of thing you end up with superstition about, like the evil eye or something, because someone's evil. That's the sort of thing you'd expect to come through down the ages. And if Bert was had a bit longer time to plan things, he may have actually put something like that in the game if you thought of
it. Yeah, Stoltheim's just amazed by this, and he's just like, every now and then, I was like,
you didn't have that in Navarone?
Yeah, because the Inquisition would have murdered you so fast if they knew. You mean we just have to look through a gem to see who's made occult dark bargains with demonic forces? Well, heck, this is just easy now.
Yeah. But well, yeah, I'm just gonna party it up, I guess. Not party, but I'm gonna.
I want to
with the mage, make sure he gets food.
Get Radnar to back me up on this because it's his quote unquote village. Ask the soldier to keep an eye out. Tell him there's a curse around. If you see more people contagious, this is the signs to look out for if something needs to happen. I'm sure you've done something before in the military with needing to isolate people with diseases and stuff. So just sort of put that protocol into effect.
Oh,
basically, deputize the soldier to act on that sort of thing. If you, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd be glad to. How do I make it? Do I just send word to the wizard? He points in the direction of the tower.
Yeah, sure. Until we get a better system working out. Yeah.
Okay. Well, people start kind of coming back in to continue their month-long celebration. They kind of look at you sideways, especially at Radnar, who they just know he caused this.
No, that's fair.
Can I do like a dilettante roll?
You buzzed out right when you were saying it. Can you do a what roll?
A dilettante?
Just to kind of do some crowd surfing and.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need to roll for it. I mean, yeah, you're an affable person. You go in and start talking around. And I don't think does Stoltheim still wear his Averone type of clothing? Do you still do very bright clothing and very Popinjay like clothing? Or are you dressed down more as traveler?
I
remember you lost your white and black stole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just more so like instead of like a colorful like cape type of outfit, I'm more so like first of all I have plate armor on, so I have that. But when I'm not actively like wearing the armor, it's more of a black cloak instead, and like lack of color and all of that.
Okay.
And I don't even have the hat anymore.
All right. Well, you are in plate though, so that is unusual in itself. I mean, you're very, if nothing else, you're advertising that you're a soldier. But people do talk. I mean, they'll kind of kid like, let me buy you around when nobody's buying anything. They just walk up and get you fill up your cup with some beer. The food is freely shared too. Some people got some stews going. There's a very old stout woman who's just commandeered a table, and she's slapping down some lard and flour and just baking up pies for everybody.
Oh, I love that. Oh, I can't wait for that.
Yeah, they're not.
Does she take requests?
Oh well, they're not. They're mince pies, so like they're meat and vegetable and stuff like that. They don't really have anything sweet that grows around here. There's no orchards in this province, really.
Can I make a request for a pie?
She'll look up and she's slamming this dough down and beating it into submission with her meaty fist. She kind of looks up at you, gives you a big grin, showing off that one tooth that's left in the mouth.
I smile and wave. I go, just one with all potatoes.
Oh, I've already got one of those on the fire right now, sweetie. I got you some. We got some white sweet potato. We got some parsnip.
Heaven. Early day pierogies, yes, ma'am.
Just one big fat pierogi.
I love that.
Yeah, they got mostly game. Some of it's like bird or fowl. Some of it's like small, like chipmunk and whatever. But they've just got all kinds of pies that she's baking up. Yeah, so just as you're going around, she's widowed. Her husband died last winter. Her children had gone off to find their fortunes. So she's actually usually here. Occasionally, this month, of course, she's just kind of this is kind of advertising, making her pies for everybody for free. But people usually buy the pies from her, partly because they're good, and partly it helps her to continue, living.
Galen.
Yes.
Can I borrow gold?
I give him a handful of gold.
I give it to the lady.
Yeah. She gives you a smooch on the cheek.
I smooch her on the forehead very sweetly and just
She grabs you
thank
by
her
the
for her
shoulders, like you can hear your plate armor crunch underneath those strong fingers a little bit as she pulls you in for that cheek smooch.
Love it, my little bushka. Yeah, I thank her for her hard work, and I'm proud to know that someone like her is one of the people of this realm.
Galen, you're probably paying attention to see about the mood of the people as it starts to fill in again. It's all pretty normal. Everyone seems to know each other and are talking. The guy who's set himself up as a barkeep is just filling everybody's drinking cups as they come by. Some of them will toss him a coin or so, but he's not. Again, nobody's charging for anything in here. Everyone looks like they know each other. Nobody's fighting. There's no raised voices. Everybody's getting along pretty well. And now that food is freely moving, we're getting a little later into the day and evening. Everyone looks fine. Everyone's acting fine.
Mm-hmm.
There's still a few people that have the itch, but again, that's secondary. That's not necessarily telling you that someone's cursed, just that they still have the fleas from it.
Yeah, they will until they have their annual wash. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Biannual, once a year or once every other year or twice a year. Well, depends on how much time I got available, and every other year.
Depends on if we're trying to make a kid this year. Yeah, I mean, everything seems normal, Galen. You think maybe the blessing worked? In past doing it, you've basically consecrated a 1 mile area centered on where you did the prayer, which would definitely cover all this small little town.
What it did, what it could.
Mm-hmm. Does anyone do anything else? Radnar? This is the first time you've really kind of sat and ate with the villagers that live at the foot of your wizard's tower, which is not it's just a couple miles that way. I mean, they usually come to you selling you the spell ingredients and other such things. Occasionally it's meat and vegetables,
No, I'm just going to kind of hang out and get to know the villagers a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, make me an intelligence roll. Stoltheim, you do the same.
Yay, I'm good at that. Wow. Yes. Success.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. You guys are hobnobbing with the villagers, and everybody's very glad to introduce you to one another. Both of you kind of find it passingly strange after a bit. You've had a chance to compare notes that the names of everybody in here now, except for the guy who's put himself as the bartender. No one's mentioned him.
I ask him, say, friend, what's your name?
You going to go up to the bartender?
Yeah.
Yeah. So as you're approaching the bartender, he's smiling at everybody, pouring cups, and he kind of goes just around with the little bar area where everything's prepared, just to check on the meat. So he's out of sight for just a moment, and as you come up, he's gone.
Yeah, that's not suspicious at all.
I'm going to ask someone in the room directly if they know anything, what they can tell me about the bartender.
You were told they thought he was with you. They've never seen him before.
I activate my
that
magic
motherfucker.
sight.
Oh my god.
That
My
takes 10
magic
minutes.
sight. Yeah,
That takes 10 minutes.
minutes, but yep, I'm
Get him.
still doing it.
You got to take 10 minutes, focus on things. Yeah, so you're not exactly sure where he went. I mean, looking around the corner there's not really any back door. You're looking around. It's got fairly high ceilings. It's just a thatch ceiling. Roll me a d6.
You know what? Also, while I'm doing it, I kind of just put the ruby up to my eye as well while I'm scanning the room.
Oh,
You actually saw him through the ruby when you were scanning the whole room earlier.
Oh,
So
nothing
he didn't
happened.
look. He didn't look
Okay,
different
okay.
at all.
Okay.
Is this the soldier
Ew.
guy I was talking to?
Yes.
Or was this something else?
Yeah.
This is the soldier guy.
Yes,
Oh.
it is.
Wow.
A 2. Okay, so you have no idea where the person could have gone. There's no back door. you're on ground. Like this is just literally, it's just dirt. It's dirt. There's no second floor. You have no idea where he could have gone. So yeah, you start taking 10 minutes, and since you did this or like right away, you're not really communicating to anyone else what's going on. But as I said, Radnar also kind of noticed this at the same time Stoltheim did, that no one is saying who the bartender was.
Do you mind if I roll a wisdom check?
What do you want to know first?
I don't want to know anything. My first thought is I think he went through the wall.
You know, you can think that. But first of all, Jenkins doesn't know anything's up. You weren't working the crowd like Stoltheim or Radnar was.
Never mind.
And no one's mentioned it yet to either to you or Galen.
Okay, never mind.
I'm gonna go. I would probably start looking for. I don't know. Like, is there anything weird about this place? Are there any secret doors, passages we don't know about? Because either this guy is some kind of weird magical freak, or he
roll a d6
in some way of escape. All right, here we go.
You come over to Stoltheim to compare notes, and you're kind of scanning around. Maybe you saw him turn the corner too, and you're looking around to see if there's any other way up. You look up. As I said, it's got a high ceiling, and it's a thatched roof. But you notice that the thatches, there's a separation in the thatches, just enough that somebody could have crawled through up the roof. But you're looking, and like, how would they have gotten up there?
They're not human. Hey, Stolte, and I'm gonna point at the hole in the roof. I think he went through there.
I rush outside. I just. Oh boy!
Yeah, it's not been 10 minutes yet. You can still be focusing on that, but it hasn't been 10 minutes yet. So you want to go outside?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just like, oh, boys, follow me to the.
I'll go with them.
Okay, so there, Jenkins and Galen, you're both brought in that something might be up. As Stoltheim and Radnar are running out the front door. There's no back door.
What's the quickest way out? Through the wall or through the door?
It's a solid wood wall.
There'll be a chicken-shaped hole in it.
Yes, but I'm not the smartest man out there. What would be
drunk enough to do that?
Well, I mean, the shortest way is always to go through a wall. I mean, it's always the shortest way.
I'm fairly sure you're not that stupid.
No, that's why I'm rolling a wisdom save.
You don't need to roll a wisdom check for everything.
Yeah, I'll just go through the door. It makes no sense.
I mean, if I had said that it's a loosely built wooden wall, I could obviously, sure. Why would Jenkins not go through it? But this is a solid, well built wall.
Yeah, no. I'm strong, but I'm not that thick-skulled.
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody goes outside. You kind of walk around to where.
What is it?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, what is it? What's going on?
Bartender. Nobody knew him.
He seemed to be a nice chap. He's probably a soldier.
Nobody here knew him.
And?
Nobody in the village knew this man. They thought he was with us.
Oh, well, maybe just knew he arrived.
He just escaped through the roof.
What?
Yeah. He's out here somewhere.
Did the guy give me his name when I was talking to him?
No, that's just it. He never mentioned his name.
Okay. No. I am going to cast Detect Evil at this point. Mm-hmm. So if anyone does try and attack me, I'll at least have some warning about it.
Okay.
I'm not expecting anyone. Just let the sunny go up, bing, bing, bing. But just sort of range 120, 6 turns, so intent.
Okay.
Yeah.
If
If anyone's
you-
going to attack me, they don't get a surprise.
Go to where on the outside it would have led to going out of the roof. Everybody roll me a d6.
Yeah.
Everybody that's out there.
Ooh. Do. Nothing.
And anybody roll a 1 or a 2 if you're a demi-human.
Scribble Shank's dead, but we're not listening to him.
Yeah.
All right. There's no sign of anything. You come out here. The only thing any of you notice is that there's a bad smell in the air, but that could just be from everybody voiding themselves. So you're on the ground. You're right at the wall that he would have had to scale down or climb down, unless he went across the roof on the other end. But this is the closest wall to where he came up.
Jenkins, either you give me a boost or I'll give you a boost. Get up here and have a look around up top.
All right. Yeah, I can give a boost. Where am I jumping onto? The roof?
Yeah,
Or
okay, I'll boost him up.
Yeah.
Okay, Jenkins, you're held up by Galen. It's just enough for you to peer across the top of the roof. Make me a save versus spell.
And that's why you use cannon fodder. I mean,
Exactly.
I'm sure it's perfectly fine.
Jenkins, you get up. There's something on the roof up here, kind of a gelatinous muck, but then the smell hits you. It is horrendous. It's everything you can do to keep from just spewing out that food and drink that you just ate. The smell is really strong coming from, I mean, it just looks like a wad of clothing and flesh and liquid, and it smells horrible.
God, it smells like my fucking mother. My character.
No comment.
My character's mother. I have to specify that just in case Mom ever actually watches this. I'm not insulting her.
I can laugh at that because we've been divorced for like 15 years. So
make me an intelligence check for Jenkins.
That's a strong suit. That's a strong suit. He's going to do it.
I don't have high hopes, but sure.
Come on, crit. Hey.
The wad of clothing, and that's what it is what the bartender was wearing.
That ain't a human.
What do you see?
Well, what is it?
It's a goddamn gelatinous cube. Imagine like every single toxic X you can imagine. Put them in some kind of horrible Lovecraftian mesh, and that's what it is. And make sure she never showers. Like, just imagine her after a party, no shower for a week. That's exactly how this smells.
So did Rhonda that lived off down the way over there's bread pudding come to life? Or... I mean, everyone in town told me Rhonda's bread pudding was terrible, but...
No, I can't. He hasn't said enough. One of us should get up there and have a look. We'll swap positions. I'll get up there and have a look.
No, man,
because I will try and.
Yeah.
Make me a save versus spell, Galen.
That's where it all falls over. Spell. Ooh,
right. Yeah, the smell is horrendous. I mean, it is. It's the most just putrid, disgusting. It smells like. I mean, Galen is something of a healer. You've lanced boils before. You've seen. It's like a pile of oozing pus, and just that smell of just rancid fat and oils. It's horrible, but you're able to keep it together.
2 questions. Is it enough body mass to make up the entirety of the bartender? And if not, can I track where something that left this pile went somewhere? Can I track that?
Make me a wisdom check for the tracking part. And I think since you're kind of a rangery guy, we said treat your wisdom as a 1 higher.
No, it doesn't
so that's
matter.
not going to do it though. You look across the top of the roof. It's mildly slanted. It's not a big slant, and as I said, it's just rushes. It's a bunch of long grass, kind of. You don't see anywhere else that's disturbed. So either it hopped over the side of the wall where you are. You just don't know. Like you don't see any other. You don't see any other path that it could have taken. You've left your newly awakened wizard back inside. He's still eating. Nobody called him out, so he's still eating, stuffing his face in there.
I'm gonna go around the other end and see on that side of the building if there's anything going
Roll
on.
me a d6.
All right. Come on, 1. Come on, 1. 6.
Nothing.
Okay.
Oh, well, other than you're stepping in the shit water that Galen had sluiced out of the... Yeah.
Oh, my shoes. Oh, God. They're wet now. Oh, jeez.
You're going to need new shoes now.
Oh, God.
I suspect you're going to say it goes off my previous roll, but I'm going to check around. I'm going to go around the edge of the building. Well, on the building. I'm going to go around the edge of sort of to see it.
No, you can give me another roll. Give me another d6.
D6. I want a d6. Where's the d6? Yes!
1.
I see something. Aha!
You see it is not immediately from the wall, so the creature must have leapt, leaving footprints, except for the footprints are like 3-toed, and because they're dug into the dirt at the tips, probably clawed.
Yeah.
And a back, so almost like a chicken's foot. Except very thick. It's not like spindly, it's thick.
That way.
I follow to the way.
But there's just the one set. Like the creature leapt off the roof, landed here, and then you don't have a trail afterwards.
I think the bad guys are just that much better than us.
Oh, God.
Oh, Stoltheim, your 10 minutes is up. You've got your magical vision. There's nothing magical about the prince.
No. Is there anything glowing in the distance? Like if I scan the horizon?
You're looking around. You don't see anything really glowing. The only thing that's standing out to you are, well, your friends and their magic items that are on them, of course, your own. Mm-hmm. It's nothing really. There is a well. Actually, you know what? No, I take it back. The whole place has a radiance of magic about it because Galen blessed it out to a mile.
Yeah. But there's a well?
Yes. Galen was actually near the well when he cast. That's why I was saying, but no, it's a mile out, so it's everything. It just has this over like glowing aura to it.
I'll check the well out. I'll go look down the well.
It's centered at the well.
Yeah, it's centered at the well. That's where Galen was standing when he was blessing the place.
Well, I was wondering if he ran and hid in the well, maybe.
Yeah. You can go though. You can go over and check. It looks fine. The water at the bottom of the well isn't glowing. It's not magical. Don't see anything else down there except for a bucket on a rope.
Right. I'm just gonna keep snooping around, I guess. Be like, is the thing up there alive or?
Well, the remains is a very good way of describing it because that's what it is. A shed body skin.
What do we do? I mean, I don't
recognize that print at all, so I don't. I mean, you can make a wild guess that it went from the bit of the roof nearest the claw mark to onwards. You sort of make a direction out that way, but that's wild guess. But that's the direction it went.
I mean, I'll go in that direction and see if I can find anything.
Actually, I allowed you another observation check, Jameis, so I will allow you another tracking check here too.
Cool. Oh, success.
Okay. It's difficult because it apparently has it moves by bounding. Yeah, and so the next set of prints is like right under the closest grouping of trees, and then from there it looks like it leapt into the trees and is doing this like swinging through trees sort of thing.
And it's away. It's gotten away. It's just gone.
Yeah, it's gone. Whatever the hell it was.
It's got a hell of a leap. From that first set to the next set is about 20 to 30 feet.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's got a big leap.
Yep.
I mean, we can just set watches tonight and see if it comes back.
That's about it. We're not going to track it down in the forest. It's gone.
Yeah, no, yeah.
It's gone. All right.
Hey, Ragnar, you know a lot about slime, yes?
I mean, I know a lot about a lot of things. What's your question?
So, okay. So, you might call me a little crazy, but I'm willing. So, I know slimes are mostly basically liquid, and I know slugs and other creatures that are basically made out of slime such substances. When you use salt on them, they start to die. Would the same work with a slime or an ooze kind of thing?
Would I know that?
Make me an intelligence check. You got to do really well, though.
All right. Here we go. Probably not
Yeah, it's
good
a
enough.
low success, so no.
Probably not then. Fair enough, fair enough.
What do you do?
I think we should just call it a night, get some rest at watches, and it got away, like Galen said. He's the tracker. Like, I don't know what it did. Maybe we should check around to see if it did anything sketchy. I mean, I go back inside the bar, and my magic sight's still on. I can just, like, rummage around behind the bars or anything unusual.
Make sure it didn't put, like, tiny pieces of itself inside of the alcohol, please.
Yeah. I'm gonna check, like, the food and drink and behind the bar.
But you said you're checking behind the bar. You find a couple of more of those heavy gold coins, the curse coins. You find some more behind the bar. And you find one of them that's been broken in half and then quartered, like snapped off and broken into smaller bits. But all the bits are accounted for.
I start asking around, like, hey, does anybody hand out weird gold coins tonight?
No.
Recently?
Other than the ones that admitted to it when Galen was offering the 2-for-1 trade-in.
Right.
No one else. Not since.
Alright, so I'll tell Galen about that when he's back.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, like, the food and drink seems fine. Like, if I peek inside the cask, like...
Everything seems fine. You still have your magic sight up. Your newly awakened wizard is kind of spread out on the chair. He's eaten a lot. He's like, oh, he's picking his tooth with a bone.
Yeah, I'll pick his brain about the creature, like the slime thing with various body parts that was leaping and bounding away. And
okay, so he nods at that and says, oh, okay, so some of the demons have been released. Shape changers, infiltrators.
What would his purpose be here?
Just that. Information gathering. They'll insinuate themselves into a community, learn what they can, learn the community's weaknesses, learn where the best places to strike are. Sometimes they sow discontent as well. Again, it's a tool that's used in the early stages of the invasion. That's how they were before. Also, they likely, whatever form he took, he killed the man for his form. they absorb the essence of the person. They wear their skins, but they also take their knowledge. So he would know all about the man's history. He could speak the man's languages. He would have the man's knowledge.
Well, nobody knew this man, so it wasn't anyone local. Huh. Alright, so I tell Galen, hey, there's a couple more of those gold pieces behind the bar. One of them's broken into fourths. All the pieces are there, though.
So far behind whatever the hell's happening here.
If your character says that aloud, the mage is like, "Oh, no! This if they've sent out infiltrators like this has been going on for some time."
Yeah, we've got no way of detecting them or anything like that. So,
and here I thought we could enjoy a peaceful life in the countryside.
You can sometimes, if you suspect, draw one out, because they will know more than the victim's body that they took. So if someone seems to have more knowledge than they should, it's a good indicator.
Unfortunately, we would have to know them and what they do or don't know in order to know that they're not supposed to know what they know.
He ruts around in his pack and he pulls out like maybe a 6-inch long silver bar. This is also, many of them can't abide the feel of pure silver.
SNL. Oh,
interesting.
Well, that makes things a lot easier. We'll just stab everyone with pure silver. Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's
Well, it has to be pure. He lets everybody kind of. So it's a rod, again, about 6 inches long, maybe just a 1/4 inch in diameter. So we use these for testing now and then. It has to be pure silver. So a silver coin generally won't work. They're often mixed with other materials to make them hard. It has to be pure silver.
And how do they react? Do they just does it burn
well,
them?
the strongest of them, it's merely a discomfort. But the more minor ones, or the ones that have been newly brought here, it's like a burning bar. It will scar them.
Stottleheim, I feel like going around glad handing some people, maybe with the bar of silver in your hand.
Make a joy buzzer, pure silver, slide it over your finger. Hi.
I mean, I could. Yeah.
Because if they know everyone, then whoever took over would know that they know everyone. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I could just like palm it in my hand or something, and like shake hands and.
Well, again, it's 6 inches long. It's not small.
Yeah. I could like slide it into the gauntlet of my armor, though, right? So it's
that's fine. Just have so little bit of it's in your hand, sure.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, if the wizard is against us, he's giving us so much great false information.
Well, he's got this bag that he carries around with him. I mean, if you ask him, it's like, these are just tools that we all carried during the war.
No, I'm just saying, oh, yes, the silver bar, that will detect the changelings. Yes, it will. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's 100% what it does. Yep. And here's a potion of strength which will disable everyone. Yes, give it to the bad guy.
I have no reason to mistrust this guy, I feel. So, I mean, he showed me the cool trick with the ruby. So yeah, I'm just gonna go around, like, check on people, and hi, good to see you, like, hey, how's it going?
Okay, I mean, again, you're meeting up with people you've already talked to, maybe bidding them good night because it's getting towards evening again. These are all people that work hard all day. Nothing, no reaction really. You're The woman brings you a couple of pies, potato pies.
Thank you. And I pass those around to everybody to enjoy and munch on one. So good. So much starch.
So there's not really any places to stay here. So unless you want to sleep in the common house, which you can, some people are, you can do that. The rest of the buildings around, like I said, are not really permanent structures.
Galen's always been preferring to sleep outside anyway. He has done since day one.
I don't mind some good old-fashioned camping. Once in a
We
while.
doing watches? I'll
Yeah,
take the middle
I think
watch
so.
because I can see in the dark.
I'll do first watch. I don't mind. We can have a little campfire. It's not like we're anywhere where we shouldn't light a campfire. Maybe
Okay.
the old mage and I can talk before bed if he wants to stay up with me a little.
Okay. So first watch. Who is first watch again?
I'll do first watch with the old mage if
Yeah.
he's willing to stay up a little.
Oh, absolutely.
We can chat with him, and I don't know, just gonna shoot the shit, I guess. I'm fascinated by like a man who came before the magic we know today.
Right.
And as somebody who doesn't know anything about the land, that's where Time's mostly fascinated is like how magic has changed, and so I just want to pick his brain.
Yeah. Right. So I mean, basically, I'm echoing through somebody. So you're picking his brain, and he's basically describing how there was centuries of lead up before anyone saw the first colored an alien, a creature that came as the vanguard. But this whole time, society was being infiltrated, and they found that they were not a very cohesive fighting force. So they entered upon compacts with one another, trying to create some kind of defense, and they had to really browbeat certain peoples to join, and others just flat out refused to. And that's when the magic changed. That's when magic went from compacts being made, blood pacts being made, so that the magic was more. Well, you notice as he's doing this, he's doing like simple feats of magic that would cost you, like spells. Like you'd have to learn and research and relearn. He's just flinging them around like it's nothing. So this magic is more efficient, although yours is safer. Yours doesn't require you to give up a bit of yourself to another power that has control over you.
What did you give up?
Well, that's a matter for interpretation. Your friend Galen might say I gave up a portion of my soul in the bargain. Others would say that just my life essence, some of my life essence was given up in the bargain.
So when you die, do you go to your pact master, or do you go to somewhere else?
Depends on the nature of the bargain. I'm not a religious man in that respect. I mean, what you call gods were just, in my day, they were powers. They were people, but people with enormous powers. You worship them as gods now. The lady that you worship, for instance, she was a brilliant tactician, captained many forces, but she was elven. She was mortal.
And yet she ascended to godhood?
When the ties were made, when blood bonds and compacts were created, and the strings of what makes us people, something changed in those that held those bonds. They were elevated. They became godlike.
Interesting. Yes. I know if I were to die again, I might be going to the lady herself.
Maybe all of your life forces might be subsumed and just become a greater part of the lady, or if your will is strong, you may keep some portion of who you are.
Interesting.
Okay, when we've been cursed, all come back as zombies.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he just moves on like that. And so when he's giving you a little bit more of the history, like he's creating holograms so that you can see these marvelous cities and these wonders of how things were, and which he's doing with no real effort at all. And he explains that it does take effort. Unlike when your mages memorize a spell and that spell's power is imprinted on your brain and that's where the spell gets the power from, his magic is drawing from his life itself, so that he has to eat and eat frequently to be able to keep powering these things, but far more efficient use of magic.
Well, there's plenty of leftovers if you need a snack before bed.
So nothing else goes through the night. You're just entertained by holograms with sound effects and, all kinds of things. It's just amazing that he's able to share these things with you. Yeah, so that's it. Second shift. Who's primarily on the second shift?
I can do second shift.
Both of us.
Okay.
Oh dear. We're in trouble now.
All right, so who's on second? That was Galen and Jenkins?
Yep.
Okay. Remember those 3 furriers, trappers that you talked to that were just kind of passing through?
Yes.
Yep. They were, of course, once they went in, were shocked to find out that they never actually had to sell anything to get beer in the first place. The first person who told them they had to pay for it was pulling their leg. So they're a little miffed. But so, they're quite drunk, but 2 of them kind of stumble into your camp, Galen and Jenkins, since you 2 are awake. And they're like, we're sorry to bother you, but you seem like the local authority, I guess. Hey, our brother is, there's something, he doesn't seem well.
What's up with him?
Isaac just makes a racket when he snores. It's just how it is. He stopped snoring hours ago, and I think he died. He's cold as ice.
All right. I'll come here. Look, Jenkins, just sort of keep an eye on things here.
Yep. Just be careful. And did he have any weird gold coins on him tonight?
If he had gold on him, we wouldn't have stayed in this village. Ain't none of us got it.
Okay, fair enough.
Don't worry. It would have happened already. Don't worry about it. It happens like that. I'll say to Jenkins. Don't worry about it. All right.
Worth an ask, of course.
I'll go and have a look. Just remind you of an armor class of -4, and that's even without my dex bonus.
Okay. Yeah, he's unmoving, not making any noise. He's turned so his back is to you. He's very close to the fire that they had set up. Very close to the fire, but he's not moving.
I'll check him out.
Okay. Roll me D6.
Woo! D6. 4. I am surprised, or I don't know. I don't notice anything.
You touch the body, and it kind of falls back. He's quite dead, and your hands, when you touched his flesh, they burned you. He's as next to a solid block of ice as you can get. His whole body is just frozen cold, not like encased in ice. It's that cold.
That's unusual. As long as it doesn't look like I'm about to be attacked, I'm going to have to take 10 minutes to work out what the hell's going on here.
Okay. Make me a wisdom check.
Woo! Wizzy, come on with him. Crit!
He's undead, as in there's a motivating force there, but the body is so rigored from cold that it can't move.
Wow.
And this is playing off of like this. You've seen this when someone infected dies, they come back. The undead they come back seem to crave heat.
Mm-hmm.
You've never seen it spread before like it spread here, and now this seems to be another augmentation. Like this is following the same effects you found before, but the freezing cold in this case it was so intense that the undead is just frozen in place.
Wow. That's wow.
You can see
Wow.
it tried to crawl towards the fire before it just seized up entirely.
Yeah, that's hell. So he was infected. Crapping bollocks.
So he did have a gold coin. Well, actually, no.
At this point, it doesn't matter.
Fair.
Burn
the body.
Well, first thing I do is I send it to gentle release, i.e. turn undead.
Yeah.
Which I don't know, that might just disintegrate the body given how powerful
it just cracks like it were a block of ice and just shatters.
Yeah.
the two drunk guys are like, "Whoa! That ain't helping, buddy. That ain't helping."
It's as much help as he's going to get at this moment as he's gone on to the final release. He is no more. He's pining for the fjords. He's gone to rest as the Eternal Master. Join the crowd invisible. He's an ex-parent.
Okay, so that's what you notice.
Wow. Dear God. I mean, admittedly, if that means that people die, it's going to be a lot easier to not worry about them. We're just going to freeze solid like that. But still.
What do you want to do?
I'll get Jenkins to help me move it away so the drunk guys can probably go stumble back to the thing when they'll worry about it.
Yes, sweep it into a cloth. All the shattered bits.
And then move it away, and then I'll let Radnor know when we switch over shifts.
Okay.
Otherwise, there's not much we can do right this minute. So, yeah.
One of the trappers called back to you. Is he dead?
Yes.
That's a damn shame. Yeah. And the one guy kind of ribs him and says, "Hey, that means his wife's available." Oh yeah.
Be fucking nice.
Oh, they're humans. You know what they're like.
I'm a human too.
So you should know what they're like. Yeah.
Some of us have standards. Jesus Christ. I might have a fucking...
What are those?
It was a long winter.
It was.
Have you met the other PCs? We don't have standards.
Yeah, third shift is Radnar.
And Scrimbleshanks not appearing.
And Scrimbleshanks goes by uneventfully. So come morning, those that were too drunk to go home at night that slept in either in the common house or just out here like you did, no surprises. Nobody's waking up with a frozen popsicle next to them or anything. Everyone else seems fine. The two trappers are sobered up a little bit come morning. Theirs seem fine.
guess we keep
Now remember, you didn't
moving.
stop anyone from leaving last night. So like, out of those 20 people, there's only like 6 folks still here, not including the 2 trappers. Everyone else went back to their homes.
Well, it's reached a stage where it solves itself. It is so far beyond any of our abilities at the moment. If we had research time, I might be able to come up with some kind of spell to help. But at the moment, we just don't have that kind of time.
Do we want to just
We're either doing
5?
actions for a season,
Yeah.
or we're doing this one little bit at a time thing, and that does not give us research time.
Yeah. Well, we can get info, and then when we get to research time, you can totally do that, I'm assuming. But, yeah. Do we just want to head to 5 now, or... Is 5 we haven't explored?
We haven't explored Soul.
Yeah.
Do we have silver mines in our area?
You have mines in area 6.
Is silver mines one of the mines we have?
Area 4. We haven't figured out what's in the mines yet because you haven't really visited to find out.
Okay. I just thought we might have had silver mines, which might be a useful thing to suddenly drop in there and get, hey, we got some pure silver now. Right.
Well, silver, tin, and copper are the mines that have been talked about that there are in this area.
Right.
We found a silver vein in Tuesday's campaign.
Did we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Did we? Yeah. Oh, yeah, we did too. Yeah, that was last week. No, the dwarves found that.
Yeah.
The dwarves we left behind to deal with the undead found that.
He'll be fine.
Oak didn't say anything at the time because he was unconscious, so that is what happens.
So we haven't explored
5
7 yet, or did we?
I think we...
You went through 7 a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can go up to 5 and then on to 3. Well, I said, do we want to pop back to 13 and get the mercenaries to do like a quick census of the place? Just to find out if other people have got disease around.
Yeah, I think my dog just saw your cat on the screen there, Adnar. He's staring hard at you. It's okay, buddy. It's okay.
Do we want to do that, or do we want to just send a messenger, or...
Let's just go into 5. So whatever happens, happens. Just go into 5 and just...
Let's tell Randar's apprentice to just run back to 13 and deliver an order from Stoltheim and Radnar or whatever.
Yeah, you can certainly do that.
That way we just kill 2 birds, 1 stone.
Yes, kill all the birds. What?
Birds aren't real. So yeah, let's go to 5.
So you want to push on into 5? 5. Population of 120. It's a 6 on the income scale. So I was saying 7s were mines. So 6. Let's see. What do you want that to be?
I
mean, that's fairly high up. So like the area that you're in now is a 9, which was spell ingredients. Like those are very valuable. So a 6 could be like cattle. It could be timber.
Resto's mine.
Timber. Yeah, this could be a
timber
area. We haven't really spelled out where we're getting all of our timber from to give to people, so might as well.
Mm-hmm. It could be also a copper or a tin mine as well, because that's not as valuable, but it's certainly useful for making bronze and other things. So it could be a tin or a copper mine. Your choice. Could be a mix of all of that.
Yeah.
Bronze is always good.
We like a little menagerie.
Mixing up the economy is always good.
Let me just get that on the master sheet here. But yeah, 6 is a pretty good money earner for you. All right. So there are a population of 120 in this 8 square miles. So yeah, there's a number of families here. There's probably broken up into like small hamlets and such. No one's come through yet to declare like the lands are now in possession of blah blah blah. So I imagine there's some of that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I tell you what, Stole time, just make me a charisma check. I'm just going to take this as an overriding, like how they take to you.
A success.
Okay, a low success with success. So like it's like a meh. You don't seem that horrible. Oh, you're not going to tax us for the first 2 years. Okay, that sort of thing. Nothing's really going on. The attacks from the hills, hill giants, have slowed down over the last few seasons. It used to be a really big thing. Not so much anymore. They haven't had an attack this season at all.
Well, that's good.
The fields are doing fine. Nothing wrong with their animals. You haven't seen this swath of like cancerous vegetation growth or like just dead growth in this area. So this province seems to be doing fine. I mean, of course, this is going to take you a few days to kind of go through each of the smaller villages and such.
I want to warn the people about the coins. Like we have.
So what do you
some of those,
what do you tell them exactly?
They're cursed. It's cursed. Okay. Cursed currency.
So beware people using this to spend and buy things. Okay. Make me a luck check. Say high or low.
High, baby. Always high. Low, baby.
Okay. Yeah, no one says anything about having seen or received any of those older coins like that. Although some folks do tell you that, oh, hey, used to be when we were digging up the land to put in our farms, they would sometimes unearth burial tombs that had coins like these in them. It's been a while, but a few generations.
Do you know, are any of those tombs still intact?
Oh, no. They were all turned into farmland.
Okay. Well,
if
it
we
looks
not
like
strictly stating it, but every time we go through this, we just take 10 minutes, at least I do, to take the magic site just to make sure there's no particular amazing things going on.
Well, there is one thing that's magical in this area. There's a blacksmith and like the second village as you come through that does a fair amount of work and does really good work. His anvil is enchanted.
Oh, neat.
We need a good blacksmith in the area.
I don't know if he wants to travel.
Well, we'll let him know.
We need to get a traveling circuit of people going around to do trade goods and stuff through the sectors.
We'll inform him, like, hey, if you need good work, swing around the area to like 13 and 11. They haven't had a good blacksmith in a while.
Yeah, well, I don't really do a lot of traveling work. I got my hands full here with fixing tools and such. So all of his work. Go ahead.
If we put the word out, are you looking for? If we send apprentices to you, would you train them up?
Oh, sure. I don't mind training some good, strong backs. I could always use some help around here too.
Would our wizard friend be able to study your anvil to see if we could recreate more of those?
Just an anvil. Sure. Take a look.
Which wizard friend are you talking about?
The magic anvil. Well, I was talking to Radnar or the old wizard.
Yeah, Radnar. Why
don't
you make me an intelligence check? And you got no dwarves amongst you right now. So Radnar, just make me an intelligence check.
All right.
That anvil belongs in a museum.
Low success.
Yeah, low success. Yeah, it's old, and it's been used and abused. You know, it's covered with soot, but you rub some things off here and there, and you can make out just the faint remainders of some dwarven script on it. So this used to be. So dwarves have in their communities, they have basically their holy forge area, right? It's both a place that they work, but it's also their center of worship. This used to be at the heart of a dwarven clan.
Oh shit! That's a
Well, we
dwarven
know dwarves used to
relic.
be. Yeah, dwarves used to be in the area because they did do the mines at one point and they didn't.
Yeah.
So that's not shocking.
That-
It's shocking that they left it behind, but it's not shocking one exists.
You know, on one side, I want us to take it, but on the other side, that's a dwarven relic. I don't know if we should even be looking at it. You know how dwarves are. You touch one of their things, they'll come up running like 4 million miles away just to beat the fuck out of you. Especially if there's elves or orcs touching it.
My name's Gimli. Your father's father's father touched the forge of my father's father's years ago. I'm here to kill you for it.
I'm here to kill you, your family, and your village because you spit on my mother 468 years ago.
Yeah, no, the dwarves in Mystara don't hold grudges like that so much.
Okay.
But I mean, this is like something really bad must have happened to the clan this belonged to for this to have just been passed down to humans for who knows how long.
On the other hand, and I say this as someone who doesn't have dwarven knowledge and thus knows nothing about the dwarven culture, Galen's going to say, on the other hand, you are still keeping the spirit of the forge alive, and it's how it wants to be used. So there's that. You're still using it. You're not letting it go to waste. You're still you are sort of worshipping at it in a way. So it's still going.
He's the 4th generation of blacksmiths to use this forge and this site here.
Yeah, it's still going as in its way. It's still being worshipped and still going strong. And you can see how well it's doing. I point around at the 6 income land.
Doing well enough.
Yeah.
All right. Well, make a note here about the blacksmith, and he'll train apprentices so we can get maybe a small group of people to learn and spread out.
Yeah, if you're learning from the dwarf forge, you're going to learn well. If you fuck up at a dwarf forge, you pay for it dearly.
Yeah, he does mention that sometimes some of his better pieces came to him in a dream.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got like he sleeps here at the forge. He's got like a small area where there's a bedroll and such. And just sometimes it comes to me in dreams how to make something better.
Unless the dwarves want to come in and start complaining about it. Fucking dwarves!
I mean, do you tell him what it is? I mean, I'm assuming you're just talking amongst each other right now, but...
No.
Galen wouldn't care if he told them or not. So he would accidentally let it spill. Unless someone tells him not to, he'd probably let it spill.
I don't think we should.
Others?
I don't think we should spread that information out. We don't need that to spread out and rumors and some adventure talks about to someone in a town, and then we have a angry mob of dwarves.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well, I mean, if it was passed down to these humans, then the dwarves by law couldn't really take it back because it was passed down to them consensually.
Passed down,
the
humans came across this empty forge after the dwarves, something happened to them.
It does check out what the dwarves told us before, where they're like, we don't really know and we don't talk about it. Yep. So that makes
something bad happened in this area to the dwarves who lived here.
Check out, and that's something. I mean, what does the old guy know? Does he know anything about the dwarves in this area?
That still happened way after he went.
Was after him?
Sleep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now
he's used to the Yithians being around. These dwarves, what the hell they come from?
Well, we don't know any. We don't know anyone around the area that's elf or some other long-living race that would have been around then. So, unless there's Fae, but I don't trust Fae with my life. I don't trust Fae with my drink.
they're not so
Stoltheim convorted with Fae regularly.
Yeah, they're okay.
They're fine.
They're not. Yeah.
Yeah, look what happened to Stoltheim. Nothing bad's happened with Stoltheim. He's perfectly
Nothing
fine.
bad's ever happened except when he murdered a family.
Listen, the only time things bad started happening is when you guys came to my home country and threw everything to shit. And I
See?
followed, and then
PCs.
I got
Never
pulled through
let
the
the PCs
portal.
near an
It
area.
wasn't exactly my choice to come to these lands in the first place.
That's
It
what
was
they
just
get
kind
for
of
being French. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's fair. It checks out.
fucking.
Yeah.
To be fair, I wasn't originally from there either. I was from the Bright Castle or whatever.
Yeah.
But do we at least tell the guy that the anvil has power?
Nah, let him think he's really good.
Fuck you.
Let him keep his.
Not you. Not you.
I want him to keep
No,
his
I'm telling him. I'm telling him.
confidence.
Frozen meat. I'm telling them.
That's really the only. I mean, you spend several days in this province. I mean, that's really the only thing that is a little unusual. Is that there's a very talented blacksmith that's being helped along by the heart of a dwarven clan.
Yeah.
Yeah. We could train
so
people
if nothing
there.
bad's happening, we leave the area quick before the PCs roll a 1 on some sort of stick.
Yeah.
Up to 3.
Plague follows you.
No.
Up to 3.
Rolls like
Yeah,
10
so-
d20 out of nowhere.
Province 5 is just a big old nothing burger. It's a good, happy place. People don't mind the fact that look, there's a new duke or a new baron. Yeah, whatever. We'll promise not to kill the first tax man you send. After that, it'll depend on how much they take.
Yeah, that's fair. You can't really complain about that. It is what it is.
So moving on to Province 3. Province 3 has more people, 140 families there, but it's got a lower income, one lower, so it's a 5. So that may be just forestry or just farming. No mines there.
We should put a nightclub there.
Yeah.
Or trees.
And that is coming up against the mountains at the top there as well.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Which if we just borrow through, we can get straight to the other side and get great bit of opportunity. I'm sure the fact that there's Dwaro rights or whatever in the hills, mountains will mean nothing bad on it.
Okay, so again, let's have just somebody else roll it this time, just for funds. Jenkins, why don't you roll me a charisma check?
Oh boy! All right, give me a second.
It's not really based on your character. I just want to see a roll. Okay.
Ooh.
This population center here isn't too enthused about hearing that there's new new strictures coming in. I mean, even telling them no one's going to be taxed for a couple of years isn't great either. This is fairly decent farmland. It's mostly cattle that they run here. They have had problems with hill giants in the past. It's kind of stopped over the last season or two. Things have been no attacks in the last season. They will tell you that Derekeen sometimes come across the mountains here and they do some trade.
Oh, cool.
Yep. It's not often. And they figure that it's caravans that get lost or got sidetracked and they didn't find Duke Stefan's road. But sometimes they come through the mountains here and they do a little trading.
Wow.
Usually desperate for food and supplies. So they do trading for, relatively cheap.
Yeah.
Not a lot going on here. They are saying, though, that here recently, like in this past season, that some of their cattle are being born with more defects than are normal.
All right, time to bless.
They, they slaughter them pretty quick so they don't get bad genetics in the rest of their, not that they would know that word, but yeah, so they don't want the bad breeding with the good. And it's not like a huge problem, just people are noticing that it's worse than it's been in the past. Some are saying it's bad water. Some are saying it's bad soil. Some are saying that new wizard that took up the tower might be cursing people.
Maybe.
Yeah, he's kind of funky like that.
Yeah.
But it's like, I hear he's a real dick.
Magic Sight reveal anything interesting?
Magic Sight reveal anything interesting? Make me a luck check. High or low?
High. Always high, baby. Ooh. Oh, 1 point off the last number.
Right.
The second time I've done that.
So there's no major river that runs through here, but it does. I mean, this is at the base of mountains and hills, so you do get some water impregnation that comes through. There's definitely something going on with the soil at the far edges of the province there. And so the luck check was to see if you were there, and you are. You're in one of the villages that are closest there. It doesn't seem like it's a new thing, though. I mean, look, it looks old. It's natural. It's some kind of runoff from something maybe deep in the mountains coming out. And yes, it does remind you of, quote, radiation that you see.
Oh,
yeah.
Crap.
It's just the barest tinges of it. It's like, it's there. It's not a lot of it, but it's there.
Can I teach if we have the stuff around, teach them the remedy that we have?
Oh yeah, the herbal remedy that you learned.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, those that plant grows in this area.
Cool.
So you can do that. Let me note that because that's helpful. It's something you did that was helpful, other than just tax them.
Oh! We did something helpful. No, reverse. Tax them twice as hard next time. Stop lying. Yeah.
And make me a wisdom check there as well, Galen.
Oh, that's the problem. Pretty good success.
Yeah, I mean, you ask around a bit. You think it's always been leaching into the water. It's just getting higher dosage over time, and it's starting to now really affect more of the cattle than it was before. And it has to be something in the mountains, buried in the mountains, that's the water's flowing over or around and bringing out.
Since we are, how easy is it to get where the water's coming from? Is it really pretty much just bubbling out of caves and ground, and that we don't know how to get in there?
I mean, it depends what it is. I mean, the last time you found this, it was the essentially the nuclear fallout from a downed spacecraft.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, how easy is it to get to where the water's coming from, or is the water just coming out of ground springs and stuff, or is it coming out of a big cavern we can go into?
Unless you spend some significant time trying to trace it down, it's just runoff from the mountains and hills. It's not like an underground river. It's just runoff from the mountains.
All right. Make a note that in the future we have to come back and investigate this more, but we've got other pressing concerns, and for the moment, they can deal with it with creams.
Oak just showed up in the chat. Hey, Oak.
Hey.
All right, so we're getting near time. So let's say that you're going to, you spent most of the day in Province 5. You pushed into 3 several days later. So it's getting late. You're probably going to have to stay here anyway. You told them about, there's something in the water. It's getting worse. Here's some things you can do to make this better. So that'll win you some points. So we're gonna end today's session with you guys in Province 3, right around the base of the mountains there.
Sure, that will mean nothing at all for next time. We'll just break it through without a problem.
Nothing at all.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing will possibly go wrong here.
Yeah, I don't see the problem.
And other than the strange incidents of cattle being born with problems, no one else has really got anything else going on here. You've asked about the coins. No, Radnar, make me a luck check, high-low.
Always high. Nope, not at all.
No one is saying anything about having seen any coins, although you do get the stories again, like, oh yeah, my great uncle used to talk about pulling coins like this out of the dirt.
Ma'am.
Yep. But that's it. So we'll stop it there for the night. Dion, what do you got going on?
Well, when I'm not playing TTRPGs with all my super cool awesome friends like you guys, you can watch me play video games badly on my channel. Say it with me now. Wait. Oh, no, that's
Wait,
Richard's line.
yeah.
But my channel is Substances Used. And you can come watch some retro JRPGs and some GTA 5 roleplay and stuff.
Nice.
And we're supposed to not ask what substances are used. Just the fact that substances are used.
They are,
That's
in
all.
fact, used.
That is
Yes.
all. Jameis, what do you got going on?
Yeah, I've got a new blog where I do movies, and I've got a whole stack of movies to get through at some point, and maybe talk about some of them if they're worth talking about.
Same
Shazam
here.
comes out next week. Get the Shazam all. Just Shazam them.
I've been shoring up my collection of movies I never saw because DVDs are like dirt cheap these days. So I've been picking up a lot of DVDs of various things. Bill, got anything going on with the frogs?
Nope. Continuing to run Lost City Baracus every other Wednesday, and on alternate Wednesdays I run Dwaro Deep, both swords and wizardry. If you'd like to get in it, hit me up. I'll get you in the game.
Cool. And I believe Constantine is an internet black hole with no social links going on. But yeah, check out Blue Magic, BLUMAGIK.com. All of our podcasts for 14 years worth of playing games, playing strange games can be found there, as well as all of our links to our social sites as well. It's the easiest place to just get everything: Facebook, YouTube, and right here on Twitch. Anyway, appreciate it, guys. This was kind of an exploration of feeling out your territory and seeing how far the rot has gotten. And we will see how this turns out. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye, everybody.